welcome back to The Movement. We have a special star guest here today.
Hey!
He knows loans. We know
having
homes, baby. Let's go. We got Steve Kasperzyk in the house. My name is Courtney McManus, co-host here.
Hashtag your friendly neighborhood Moose. It's me, Moose, the other co-host.
Thank you guys for having me.
Oh, yeah,
Appreciate
Steve,
it.
guys. Cass!
Woo!
The man, the myth,
Thank
the
you.
legend. He knows loans at He Knows Loans.
At
Hashtag.
He Knows Loans. Give him a follow. So Steve's here to talk with us today a little bit about some basic mortgage tips and stuff like that. So if you want to just dive right in. My first question for Steve was initial thoughts on Credit Karma, Steve.
Ooh, Credit Karma.
No, this is a good topic, and it's definitely something I want to talk about.
Pull out my pocket square.
I don't hate it. I
Okay.
really don't, and I do think it has its uses. If it's used properly for monitoring your accounts,
Okay.
making sure there's no fraud, no one's stealing your identity.
So a lot of the times we get from people, hey, do you think we can qualify for a loan? My credit score is 700 on Credit Karma. So what would you say to people that come to you? They
Well-
say, yo, my credit score is this on Credit Karma.
And that happens all the time.
Yeah.
And listen, you're not wrong for thinking that because that's all you know.
Can I just say one thing really quick? So for anyone who doesn't know, what is Credit Karma?
True. Credit Karma is a consumer app for your smartphone that kind of allows you to track your credit. It's going to estimate your credit score. It's going to tell you your accounts, how much money you spend, how much credit you got left.
Okay.
It's also going to give you a lot of offers, to apply for cards, apply for loans, refinance loans,
Right.
things like that.
Okay.
And so why is credit important? I
Credit
know it's
is
a really
everything.
silly question.
No, it's not, but a lot of people don't know. We didn't
Yeah.
take this class in high school, so
Right.
Credit's important. Credit is everything in the lending game. Anything you want to finance, you need credit. So, obviously, insanely important.
Yeah.
And you don't want to let it get out of hand. You want to start monitoring your credit as soon as you possibly can.
So you guys as lenders, you don't actually use Credit Karma when you pull people's
Absolutely
credit scores.
not.
Okay.
No. Kind of blackballed. In
Okay,
the
cool.
lending
So
community.
first line, someone calls you, they say, hey, my credit score is 700. What can I qualify for? What's like the kind of first step from there?
First step from there is, okay, who pulled your credit?
Okay.
Right away.
Yeah.
Because they'll tell you. I looked on Credit Karma.
Okay, cool.
And from there, it's right away. Well, awesome. Credit Karma is consumer credit. So there's three types of credit, mainly. There's consumer credit, which
Okay.
is mostly credit cards, store cards, things you're going to finance without much effort.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
There's auto credit. Pretty self-explanatory.
Right.
When you're going to go buy a car.
For your automobile.
Exactly. And then there's mortgage credit when you're going to buy a house.
Cool.
All three are scored differently. Your car payment history is more important when you're buying a car. So they're going to care more about if you paid your car on time.
Right.
Sure.
And vice versa with mortgages. If you've rented or you've owned before, we want to make sure that you've paid your mortgage.
Okay.
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 So definitely, I can't stress it enough. Again, Credit Karma is cool. It definitely has its uses, but it's not your true FICO score.
For sure. So it's a good first base, I guess, for someone that's looking to get involved in
Absolutely.
the real estate field. Kind of good way to know where they stand.
Yeah, but you want to get to like third base at least, right?
Yes.
Most people do, yeah.
Yeah.
Most people do.
At least third base.
At least.
Tell us how to get to third, Steven.
Steve,
So-
how we hit a home run?
How do we get home, baby?
let's
Take
not
me
get ahead of
home,
ourselves.
Steven.
Home sweet home. He knows loans. We know home.
It's actually a lot easier than you think it is, and it's not that scary.
Cool.
2019 technology.
Yeah.
For
As simple
sure.
as a text link. Take you 5 minutes to fill it out.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'll instantly be able to tell you what your credit is.
Right.
And you can instantly kind of be able to figure out what you're pre-approved
Exactly.
for too as well.
Yeah.
So, run everything and you can come back and say, hey, listen, you're qualified for $350,000.
Right.
Exactly. Credit, I'd say, is about 45% of buying a home.
Yep.
For sure, for sure.
So super duper important.
Super important.
Essentially, if you don't have good credit, you won't necessarily qualify for a good loan.
Yes and no. So, surprisingly, you can go down pretty low in a credit score.
What's the
Down-
lowest credit score you would say?
The lowest credit score possible is 500.
Okay.
The lowest credit score I've ever closed is 555.
The hell?
Exactly.
Wait,
see?
really?
That gives people a lot of hope, though, because a 500 credit score is going to get you nowhere on a rental application,
Exactly.
for most people at least. So if you're looking for some sort of housing, whatever your situation is, you might be better off qualifying for a small loan as opposed to trying to find a rental that might not have everything you're looking for.
Right on. And I even said, I think I said last week, the minimum credit score was like a 620. But you know what the thing is with lower credit scores, just like to reiterate what you said, you're going to get a different rate. Right.
Oh, without a doubt.
And there's different types of loans too. I don't know if you want to maybe dip into the difference between an FHA and a conventional loan, the two most common loans.
Absolutely. So going down to 500 is going to be an FHA loan. They allow for lower credit score. They're backed by the government. So the banks are a little more lenient on what they can do.
So FHA, Federal Housing Authority, is what that stands for, right?
Correct.
Okay, so they're backed by the government loans.
Exactly.
So FHA loans are probably the easiest loan to get for someone that has a lower credit score.
They're the easiest to qualify for, and they're usually what first-time home buyers seek out.
Sure. I use an FHA loan for my condo.
Absolutely.
Steve actually was my lender for my condo
Hey!
as well. So
Actually,
shout
funny
out
enough.
to
And your house came out great.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank
That's
you.
right.
Trying hard.
It's
You actually
beautiful.
helped me buy my house as well.
I did.
That
I'm
is
helping everybody.
true.
I'm helping everybody.
Yeah.
So.
He knows loans.
Yeah, good stuff.
True.
So conventional loans. Conventional loans
Yes.
are a little bit of a better credit score, and you put a little bit less down, correct?
Correct. Yeah. So FHA, you can put as low as 3.5%.
Okay.
Conventional.
So let's just stop there. 3.5%. So say someone's buying $100,000 condo, they would have to put $3,500 down. $3,500
Correct.
on that.
Yeah.
Okay, so $100,000 house. All you need to purchase a $100,000 house is $3,500 for your down payment
For an FHA
for
loan.
an FHA loan.
Now, conventional loan is 3%?
It's 3%, so it would be 3,000.
Okay.
So save you $500.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's a really good example for people to kind of base their own personal situations off of.
So then $200,000, which a lot of people are doing these days, you're looking at $7,000 for your down payment. But that's just the down payment because there's obviously also closing costs.
Correct. There's closing costs, which a lot of people don't know what those are.
I had someone ask me the other day, what is your closing cost? What does that entail? So maybe you can kind of just give us a quick.
Absolutely. So closing costs are a bunch of things jumbled together. Essentially, everything involved in buying a home has a cost.
Everything that you're bringing to the closing table that day.
Exactly.
Correct.
Plus your down payment. Correct. What's involved in closing costs are simple things: is your property taxes, your insurances,
Boom.
your attorney fees.
Boom.
If the bank or the investor you're working with charges any fees.
Okay.
Your appraisal
fees.
fees. Okay. Yeah, so bank fees. Depending on the state you're buying in, there's government and state recording taxes. Which
Boom.
basically is just filing away your paperwork.
Okay.
And they charge you for it. So,
Okay.
but in retrospect, that's pretty much all it is. Nothing more, nothing less.
All right. Now, I was reading some statistics the other day from Keeping Current Matters, and they were saying that 62% of Americans believe you must put at least 20% down on a home currently right now in 2019. So what do you have to say about that?
Survey says.
Correct. Everyone thinks that.
Do you see about 62% of your clientele putting more than 20% down on properties?
Putting that down? No, absolutely not. Most
Okay.
people I work with end up putting the minimal down.
Okay.
Once I tell them what it is. Obviously that's a massive difference from 20% to 3%.
For
So
sure.
just in terms, right? So $100,000 house. A lot of people think for a $100,000 house, 20%, that's $20,000.
Right.
But in fact, in reality, you're putting only $30,500 down.
Correct.
All right.
Which is
Huge difference,
Woo.
right?
yeah.
Pull up my pocket square for that one.
Especially when you bring up closing costs.
Right, right.
For
sure.
Saving that amount of money can help you pay for things like that.
Definitely.
Furnishing the house, that's not once you get your loan, that's not it.
Right.
You have other expenses.
That's right.
You're not wrong, Steve.
Ain't wrong, Cap.
No, unfortunately.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I feel like that was strong. That was
Yeah.
great.
So yeah, I also, the other statistics that I read was that 32% of U.S. homeowners are putting less than 5% down on their home. So is that something else that you
I would say it's even higher than that.
I would probably say so too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Definitely. How much did you
Especially-
put down on yours? When
I
you
put the bare 3.5% for an
3.5%.
FHA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So and then that helped a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, so some of the reasons that you do put more, or even, and this is what we've been preaching to buyers as well. If you're going to put down 20%, the reason to put down 20% isn't necessarily for lower payments. It's because you lose mortgage insurance.
Correct. Big hidden
Yes.
fee
Right.
per se.
Hidden fee.
Which is
Correct.
probably an extra,
insurance that you have to
Yes.
have on.
probably an
This is
extra couple $100
Right.
on your monthly
Yeah, it
payment.
can anywhere from $100 to $200.
Yeah.
Right. And here's the thing too. The myth is that mortgage insurance has been this thing that it's always been around.
Always.
Mortgage insurance has always been around.
Right.
It's just, the way technology works, a lot of people are seeing that this is just
Right.
expense. So
And it's not advertised either.
absolutely not. You
Yeah.
have to pay more
So it's
money.
hidden.
It's not
gonna be
advertised.
advertised, right?
It's not appealing.
A great tool. I got to be honest, and I don't know if we want to brush off on this, but Zillow.
Yeah.
Not the biggest fan of Zillow, but the tool, the Zillow mortgage calculator.
Yeah.
If you use it correctly, is actually a really good indicator.
And that's very important what you said.
Yeah.
If you use it correctly.
You got to use it correctly.
Yes.
Yeah. Go to advanced controls.
Yes. And honestly, seek guidance.
Yeah.
Seek out a realtor. Seek out a mortgage lender. Someone that
Absolutely.
can tell you how to use it.
Right.
You know, if we show you one time, you should be fine after that.
Absolutely.
For sure.
But you can definitely confuse yourself and get yourself into trouble by doing it wrong.
Absolutely. And again, I think that the best thing that you can do for yourself, talk to a loan officer.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's
Talk
free.
to a loan officer.
It's free.
And then after you have a conversation, see where you're at. And then the other big thing is get your credit pulled. There's this crazy misconception that
Yes.
getting your credit pulled is gonna 30 points. I've been working on this thing
So,
for
Steve,
my entire life.
I call you today to get pre-approved. How many points? Say my credit score is a 700. What is my credit score going to be after I call you to have my credit ran?
Worst case scenario, 698.
Okay, so 2 points top. So it's not
Tops.
like you're losing 10, 20 points on your credit score when you get it pulled.
Exactly.
Okay.
A lot of factors go into how many points you lose when your credit is pulled. One being how many times you have recently pulled your credit.
Right.
Okay.
The way credit works, the more you pull it, the more you look desperate for money
Right.
or a loan,
That makes sense.
something. So if you're asking 100 people for money, it doesn't look that good.
For sure.
If you've only asked one person for money in your life,
Right.
they're not going to hold it against you.
Now, how long does that pre-approval last for? If I want to buy a house next year, do I get pre-approved by you now? Do I get pre-approved by you 6 months from now, 3 months before I want to buy?
That's a
When's
great
the best
question.
time to get pre-approved?
My go-to answer for that is right now.
Okay.
Let's get together. Let's talk now, because if you do need to work on something,
Rates are low now, too.
right, exactly. Not even that, just beyond that, if you do have an issue or something we need to clear up, we have time.
For sure.
The worst thing you could possibly do is leave yourself 2 weeks to figure something out.
For sure. For sure. So how long does a pre-approval last? Do they
Pre-approval lasts
expire?
90 days.
90 days.
days.
Okay.
They do expire because your credit report will expire.
Okay.
However, the financial aspects of it, if you don't lose your job, nothing changes financially, you should be fine.
Cool.
Nothing really is going to change. The programs do change from time to time, so that's why you want to stay in contact.
Okay.
But other than that, it's really good to just get on it right away.
Okay.
For sure. For sure. All right. Great. I think this was all super, super awesome. Great knowledge for all of our first-time home buyers, for sure.
For sure.
All of our renters, also everyone that is just thinking about getting in the market of buying
right.
or selling their house. This is all really gold stuff to be knowing.
No, you're right. You're right. All very good stuff. Steve, we're so happy you came here.
I'm happy too.
Yeah, thanks for coming out and making some
Absolutely.
time
It's
for
my
us.
pleasure. I love what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Good stuff. Well, that is a wrap.
Thank you guys for tuning in to episode 6 of The Movement. Don't forget to hit the button to subscribe, like, share, comment. Let your friends know. We are here to help you
Tell your friends.
buy,
about
sell,
me.
rent, or if you need
Tell
to just
your
vent,
mom about
let
me.
us know. We're here.
Tell your dad about here.
Courtney McManus, Aken, Musa, Steve Kasperzyk, Total Mortgage.
God, you're a beautiful man.
Thank you.
And that's it, baby. Woo! We're done.